Hi guys, this is how to play Sunshine of Your Love by Cream with Eric Clapton. This is a full tutorial on all parts of the song, everything except the solo. If you'd like a solo lesson, please let me know in the comments below, and please subscribe if you do enjoy this video. We've got loads more electric guitar lessons on my website, which is where the tab is for this lesson. So the tab is the first link in the description. Please subscribe if you do enjoy this video. Let's get you straight in for the close-up. Sunshine of Your Love. So this is based on the D blues scale, which goes like this. This is our D note on 10th fret of the thickest E string. And that is the blues scale, and we start from this octave of that first D, which is the 12th fret of the D string, of the 4th string, string 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's also where the double dot is on my guitar, and you should have 2 dots on most guitars. We play this first note twice to play the introduction riff, to the first finger at 10th fret, and then back to the 3rd finger. So we have these 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we don't want any space between those. They need to be even and as follows. That's the start of the riff. Then we move down a string, but physically higher, but we've gone to a lower string from here to here. That's a lower note, so we call it down, to 12th fret, directly physically above the note that we've just played. We play the 3rd finger at 12th, middle finger at 11th, and 10th fret with the 1st finger. So 3rd, middle, and 1st. And as a recap, now we need to mute those to make them short and staccato, we'd call it, to use the proper musical term. So we can mute it by relaxing our fingers on the strings, but not lifting off of the strings, just relaxing them so that the string is no longer touching the fretboard. Like that. But you can hear then there is sometimes some open string noise. So when we mute with this hand, we also want to mute with the right hand just by laying the outside of our palm over the strings in this fashion. Nice and gentle. See that I relaxed here and also laid the outside of my palm over all 6 strings, so we get no ringing out noise. That can definitely happen a lot more. You'll hear it a lot more when you turn the overdrive right up on your amp. We just want a little bit of a crunch to get this sound. More details on how to get the sound from this on the website, links in the description, where this sort of lesson is embedded. So we play the 4 notes, mute, and mute in between those 3 notes as well. Then we move position at 8th fret on string 6, so we need to move the 3rd finger to here, and our 1st finger was here, and then the 3rd finger moves to here. So that's the first note of the D blues scale, but we want to put our 3rd finger on it because the note after that is the 1st finger on fret 8 of the 5th string. And then we come back to where we've just been with our 3rd finger, so the last little phrase. And we do want to give that 1st finger some vibrato, which is shown by that squiggly line on the tab, which is available on the website if you click, I think, the link in the top corner there. Kind of like that. Just want to move the string up and down from where the natural position is, sort of like this sort of motion. Very tricky technique, that vibrato lesson. I've got more on that coming in my Improver course, which is coming around Christmas time. So a recap of this entire riff, just once. that's the riff. The way that it's tabbed out and the way that it's generally played in the original is we'd play that last note twice, so it would become like that. That extra one note makes it much more difficult to then repeat the riff. If I just play it, we've got to kind of jump straight back to the start. It's much easier if we just play that last note once, which is how it's played on the repetition when the riff happens again. So really recommend just playing it once like that. Let's play it together and I'll talk you through it as we go, nice and slow, in 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the riff twice. Let's see if we can play it 2 more times, and we're going to do it even slower now to make sure everyone can do this. Come on guys, we can do this. Really small motions, everything on a down pick, and really small motions. Try and not let your fingers go too far away from this kind of position. If you got your fingers flying everywhere, probably want to practice the minor pentatonic scale a little bit more, and there's a lesson on that in the description from my beginner's course. Let's go for this riff again in 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go for that again in 1, 2, 3, 4. As you can hear, that muting really cleans it up. If we don't mute as well, sometimes you get those open strings ringing out, and you heard that a couple of times in that demo. Cool, once that's happened twice, we then replace those first 4 notes with essentially what is the bar chord version, but we're not playing all the strings. We're not playing, so this is a D bar chord, 10th fret, like the F bar chord, just moved up with our first finger at 10th fret. But we don't have our little finger down, and we want to mute this string, which is shown by an X on the tab. So that is string 4. We don't want that to ring out. And we're not playing the thinnest 2 strings either. So it's best to kind of pretty much bar so that you're muting all the strings. That's what my first finger's doing, and it's only hitting the tip there. This muting technique is also covered in my improver course. So this one rings out, but if I pick all the other strings, that's what we want. Just laying over the strings. And then the middle finger and third finger are as normal. The little finger's not down, and we're not really strumming the thinnest 2, we're just strumming the thickest 4 strings, these 4 that I've got my finger on now. And we play like that. Very similar to the riff of You Really Got Me, really. It's just kind of moved up. Also, Cocaine by Eric Clapton is a very similar riff to this, and it's a little bit easier, if anything, and I've got a lesson to that on my website and YouTube channel. So we play this first chord twice, the D, slide it down by 2 frets, and then come back to where we were with the D. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is D, D, C, and a D. And then we need to mute, like that. When we're moving this kind of bar chord shape, and the same thing goes for power chords as well, just slide. Do not lift off the strings at all. You just slide it to wherever you need to be. And really, my fingers aren't moving at all. We're just moving the entire shape down by moving your arm. Like that. One last time. And then we play the middle 3 notes exactly the same. Still with good muting. And then we do the same riff that we did here, but an octave higher. So rather than starting on this lower D note, we're going to start on the higher D note. And again, give that first finger some vibrato by giving it a wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Tips for the vibrato, it's kind of like lots of mini bends, and remember with bending we have this kind of arm motion where we're pivoting on the thumb. The thumb kind of stays still and we're pivoting on the thumb with the entire forearm and the wrist. It's a slightly exaggerated motion, but that's exactly what's happening. So make sure you got that thumb kind of planted on the top of the neck and we're waggling kind of like that. And we're just going to get that shake and vibration in your whole hand. Certainly not, it's not a finger motion at all. We're not just doing kind of this, and we're moving the entire kind of hand. If I can do it slowly, kind of like that. Let me do it in context. That was a pretty good example. And you'll also see that I am sliding a fair bit. 2 fret slides generally. You know, if we've got a chance to put some of that extra phrasing in there, it's a good exercise to do it. So we have twice through the normal riff and then twice through this normal one. Let me give you a demonstration of this and then we'll look at how to play the rest of the song, which if you can do this should be straightforward, but will be easier if you're following the tab which is on my website. From the top, normal riff in 1, 2, 3, 4. Bar chords. That is the introduction to the song. Then he would start singing. Now this is really important. A lot of students kind of get lost at this point from where to kind of change. But this is essentially a 12-bar blues in D. We're just, rather than playing a kind of a standard blues riff, we're playing this riff. Or this one more specifically. We're playing that riff 4 times, like it would be 4 bars of D if we were doing a 12-bar blues in D. Then what happens is we move the whole riff down a string, which the easy way to do it is play it like the intro. The first one we played normal. Start a string down and then do everything exactly the same. And the only difference between that and the way it should be played is we want to play a G power chord, which is like a normal power chord but down a string, 10th fret. And again play the same motion where we're moving down by 2 strings. It's a really common thing where any riff we're sort of playing with single strings on the thickest 3 strings can be moved down a string to sort of simulate a change of chord. It can't be moved down again, and we never want to go to the B string, otherwise everything kind of sounds weird. That doesn't work, that's why we need to keep that lower one there. So a recap of this. And that is the riff in G, which happens twice. So we've got 4 bars of the normal riff, or 4 repetitions of the normal riff. Move it down a string twice, and then come back to the normal D riff, but sticking with the kind of bar chords version of it. After that, we have the chorus section, which you can play 2 ways. If you're more of a beginner, if you're a total beginner but you're following this lesson kind of so far, I'd just stick to doing it the normal riff way. Just repeat that as I've just said, and following the tab for how many bars you need to do it for, to do that. And if you're a beginner, I would be working out your open chords. So sticking to an A major chord, it's a down, up, down, and then C major, mute, and a G, and then a mute. This also gives you these mutes also give you time to change chord as well. Loads of time to get to C, loads of time to get to G. That happens 3 times and then we just stay on A. The other option that you have is to play all of these with bar chords apart from the A. We want to do the A with a flat first finger, sticking strict with the tab that I'm following here from the book, and then a C bar chord like this, and then a G bar chord like this. More info on all these bar chords, as I say, in my Improver course. That's where we sort of cover all of this sort of stuff, available on the website. This is the technique though. Let's see if you can follow it from this video, because it should be pretty doable. 1 finger A chord. That's what the first finger is looking like. And then a 3rd fret A-shaped bar chord. So we're like this. Hopefully that is something you guys can follow. Flat first finger, barring everything, but it's positioned underneath the thickest string, and just touching it so that we mute that string. And that's where the other fingers are. And this sounds the same really as the normal C chord. It's just a different voicing. It's a different version of it. And then we go to the thickest string root note, and this is a G bar chord. It's basically the F bar chord moved up 1, 2 frets, so that the root note's to a G. So 2 options. Or very much easier, or, you know, whichever combination of those that you prefer. But either way, we do it 3 times and then we get back to our riff. If you're struggling after you're playing this to kind of get to your riff, my tip is to lift off of this A chord and leave that A string ringing out. So if we did a round of this, notice I left that open A string ringing out, sort of cover the time it takes me to go, oh, where should I be? Oh, it's this note here, and then play it as normal. Cool, so let's go from that chorus and then we'll try and do a whole round of this. You may just want to watch this the first time, but feel free to join in. And I'm going to take the decision to go for the open chords way of playing it, because then everyone can do it. But if you want, you can do the bar chords way with a C and a G bar chord. On the top of the chorus, in, let me swallow, in, 1, 2, 3, 4, down, down, mute to C's, G, to be where I'm going, in the sunshine, A chord, and then we're back to that riff. And it is awfully difficult to get up to there as quick as you may need to, because we're right at the open string, and then we've got to move back up. It's actually that one that we want to go back to. So it can be quite hard, but if you stop after the first bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can be up there waiting for it. Cool, so let's go from a play along from each verse now. So the verse starts, it's getting near dawn. We play the riff 4 times, we move it down a string, doing the G power chord, and then we go back to the D, and then we do that chorus section. From the riff, start of the verse, in, 1, 2, 3, 4, near dawn. Lights close their tired eyes. Be with you soon, my love. Give me string. Soon. Be with you till the stars are falling. Back to normal. Open chords for the chorus in 1, 2, 3, 4. I've been waiting so long to be where I'm going, in the sunshine of your love. Back to normal. And that is how to play Sunshine of Your Love. Structure-wise, that just keeps happening 3 times, but you only count the 4 times through the riff, four of the complete riff from when he starts singing. That's the important thing, where the 12-bar blues kind of starts and ends. Other than that, it's totally consistent. It's always 4 times through the riff. The guitar solo is entirely the same rhythm parts. It is just, it goes straight for 4 of these. It's the same riff underneath. That solo is also a real opportunity to improvise and solo in the key of D, basically. So walking up and down this D major pentatonic, or minor pentatonic, sorry. Even using the blues scale. And for the lesson I'll play the minor pentatonic, as I say, the link is in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you did enjoy this lesson. To check out more of what I offer on this channel, click either of the 2 videos we have here. The links are also in the description and in the top corner. I will see you in another lesson of mine. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.